Let's start with today. How was the first practice of the week?
Today was good. Obviously, our second week that we got to have a normal schedule, getting back into it. So I thought we came out ready to go. I thought that today was a huge day from the execution side of things, and then the effort. It was a lot of energy, a little different than we've had on a Tuesday. So it was a really good Tuesday.
Speaking of execution, it took you a little while to get going on Saturday against App State, but once you did, your execution seemed to be pretty good. Did you like how the film kind of showed everything?
Yeah, obviously, like I've said before, you got to take the negatives, right? You got to find ways to make sure you're growing upon that. We didn't start fast. That's one of going to be the stressing points that we got to make sure we have this week is starting fast and putting points on the board early.
Washington State's defense is very good. Their numbers are pretty impressive. What do you see on film from these guys?
It's a good defense. I think the biggest thing is that what sticks out is that they play really hard. There is not a lot of loafs on the football field. You see 11 people tracking the ball every single snap, and if they don't, they get someone else in that can do it. That's the first thing, is that it's a defense that plays hard. Their structure is very good. Their defensive line, they move a lot. I think they have a really good front. Their linebackers, when they blitz hard. They don't let up and try to fit things in. They're trying to bring it in the pressure game. They're making sure that they're bringing the physicality to the team that they're playing.
How much can home field advantage play a factor in a game like this, where you guys are obviously staying here, but they're making that cross-country trip?
Yeah, I mean, first off, our stadium is electric, right? And our fans are electric, everything about this place. That just gives us a leg up in my eyes. Our players love playing in front of our fans. But obviously, yeah, when you have to fly all the way from one coast to the next, you know, that's part of it, right? We're not looking at it like that. We're just looking at there's another opponent that's coming in that's trying to take something away from us.
And what's that preparation piece like when there isn't a common opponent that you guys have both faced this year?
I think we have a mature group at the end of the day that we may not have played them, but at the same time, you're only guaranteed 12 Saturdays, right? So understanding that this is 1 out of 12 where you're guaranteed to play when you start from the beginning of the year. So it doesn't matter who shows up on Saturdays. Our job is to compete our asses off and make sure that we're executing at a high level.
As the year has gone on, where do you guys feel like collectively as a unit the offense has gotten better and better and better each week, you think?
I mean, a lot of things to it, but I think the leadership, right? I think we're practicing on a really high level. I think today, you know, there was just a lot of energy if you were on the football field of just being able to hear excitement. And just, you know, we just got to keep moving in that direction. There's still some things, like I said, we didn't start fast. You just got to, in my eyes, it's about the stuff that you didn't do well, right? And finding ways to make sure that we're bringing those into strengths.
I know you're talking about Washington State's defense, but how valuable is it to have film of their defense playing against offenses like UVA and Ole Miss?
Yeah, I think, you know, at the end of the day, when you're looking at film, it's not necessarily about who they're playing. It's more about how does that scheme fit to what you do. So when you're playing a triple option team, right, that may not be applicable in terms of what you're looking at because they might have a completely different game plan. So it's more about the teams of what formations they're putting on table, what personnel groupings, and is that matching what you do, so then you can go, okay, this is probably what they're going to do against us.
How nice is it at this point in the season to have that Sun Belt East title locked up? I know talking to some of these guys before the year, that was something that they were pretty determined to finally get.
Yeah, I mean, that obviously is all credit to them, right? They have done a great job with that, but we still have bigger dreams and goals and aspirations on. So it's pretty cool, right? And they should definitely be celebrated and for a quick 5-10 minutes, and they should be very appreciative of that and all the hard work that they put in. But that's just another step. And this is another game right now that we have to make sure that just, you know, we have to do to be able to keep checking off goals and dreams and aspirations.
Did you play South Dakota State when you were at Holy Cross?
I did, yeah. It's very similar. There's a few things that are very different, but from the identity standpoint, South Dakota State played hard, right? They have, I believe, 5 or 6 guys on the defense that play that are transfers from that school. But it's very, very similar, and it's a team. Like, I think that coaching staff does a really good job.
Let's start with the first practice of the week. How did it go today?
Good. A little cold out there, which keeps them on their toes, which makes it fun. And, you know, it's a good opponent. So when you're playing a physical team and, you know, got to have a physical Tuesday, which makes it fun.
Has this team been a pretty consistent practice team the entire year for you?
Yeah, I mean, when you got good leadership, you're going to have good practices. And our leadership's really strong on the defense side of the ball. So it makes for good Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Doesn't mean it's not intense and fun, but the intentionality is always there, and they come right back to work no matter what happened on Saturday.
Obviously, the numbers were very impressive on Saturday against App State. What were some things, though, that as you picked apart your team on film, what were some things that not were glaring weaknesses, but some things you struggle with?
Well, they scored on 2 of the final 3 drives, so I mean that leaves a taste in your mouth that got to get better. Doesn't matter what happened before that. They found a way to find things at the end of the game, and we got to make sure we improve on those things that they found and get ready for the next one.
You mentioned Washington State being very physical this week. What do you see on film from these guys? I'm guessing that does stand out. What else?
Yeah, I mean, just their heart. I mean, they've played some really good opponents to some really close games, and they do it with just a grind mentality. I think they're built the right way. I think they work really hard on film. You can tell they don't quit on plays. They outwork their opponent, and that's something that we pride ourselves on. So it's going to be a heavyweight fight in a lot of ways.
I know talking to Trent yesterday, he said that having that kind of performance after Marshall was a good one to have. When you see that response, how nice is it to see your group allow less than 175 yards, 1 rushing yard, kind of those gaudy numbers that you don't see all the time?
Yeah, I mean, again, we're not focused on numbers. It's just one play at a time. So, honestly, there were good plays in the Marshall game. There were bad plays in the Marshall game. There were good plays in this past week. There's bad plays this past week. So, for us, it's just what did we do wrong on this specific play? What do we have to fix for the next one? And what challenges are ahead of us? So, long way to go still. And obviously, we've had some great overall statistics and some great individual games. But at the same time, it doesn't mean anything if we don't finish. So, we got 10 days of the regular season left, and we got to grind ahead.
Going off of that, just with the rushing numbers, I know I asked you following the Marshall game just how you'd like to see your defense respond against the rush. Just what did you like that you saw out of them against App State?
Yeah, I mean, the numbers always look better because sacks are involved, and obviously the score got out of hand, so they stopped trying to run the ball. They found a toss play early in the game that we got to do better of next time. So, I mean, I was happy to see the defensive line play maybe with the physicality and the energy that we have come accustomed to and this place has been built on and the foundation of this place. But that's not to say it wasn't there at times in the Marshall game. It just, like I said before, Marshall found 5 or 6 explosive run plays that we hadn't had all year long. So I don't know that it was as much to be about Marshall really controlling the ball or Marshall found some explosives and we have to make sure that we don't give that up again.
Seems like offensively for them, they want to establish the run. I know their season high is 162. They got close to that last week. What are you kind of seeing in their run game?
Yeah, I mean, go back to San Diego or South Dakota State and the national championships and stuff like that. I mean, it was built on, blue collar, tough, hard nosed football, similar to what this place is. And, you watch the film and he's building that culture there. It's very different than the Washington State teams that maybe I played when I was at Wisconsin. But the toughness, the blue collar attitude is there. And, they've got, big tight ends, big O linemen. They work well together. They running back that runs extremely hard and a quarterback that plays as tough as any quarterback will face. So it creates a lot of challenges in the run game.
What have you liked out of DJ Barksdale's development in this season, especially now that he's playing a little bit more true corner? I mean, I know he had the interception this weekend, and it seems like he gets those at those needed moments.
Yeah, I mean, since the day I got here, DJ has been extremely high thought of. I mean, he had a great year last year and made a lot of plays last year coming back. So the expectation is high, and he continues to exceed that. And, I mean, go back to the Louisville game. Some of the plays he made in those games were really good. It was maybe he hadn't found the ball as much as he would have liked recently, but, it was good to see him get that pick early in that game. He's a tough player, and he does a lot of things for us at a really high level.